Chosen one. This moment is not random, and your presence here is not by chance. Heaven itself aligned your steps to this exact second. Anointed one. Something has shifted in the unseen, and you are standing at the edge of a divine transfer that carries weight, purpose, and restoration. Scripture says that blessings overtake those who walk in alignment, and right now, alignment has found you. A supernatural financial breakthrough is pressing toward your life, moved by a hand you did not expect and a source you could not predict. Chosen one, remain attentive. What is unfolding is sacred, timely, and meant for you. Stay open, stay present. Your spirit was called here for this. Chosen one, what just moved toward you was not scheduled, not forecasted, and not something your logic could have prepared for. It arrived the way heaven often does, quietly, suddenly, and without permission from your past. This is not the kind of moment that knocks politely. This is the kind that interrupts routines, pauses, scrolling, and presses against your spirit until you stop long enough to listen. Anointed one. The action that set this in motion was unexpected, but it was not accidental. Something was released into motion with your name attached to it, and the instant it moved, resistance rose. That resistance is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of value. I've learned through long nights and unanswered prayers that resistance only shows up when something meaningful is about to cross a threshold. Nothing fights what doesn't matter. There was a season in my own life when help came from a direction I would have never predicted. Not from family, not from the people who promise support. It came from someone who didn't know my full story, but somehow knew the timing. I almost missed it because it didn't arrive the way I expected blessing to arrive. That's why I'm telling you this now. Divine provision rarely looks familiar. It looks disruptive. Chosen one. What's hovering over your life right now is larger than what your current frame of reference can measure. And no, it is not waiting for your bank balance to make sense of it. It is not asking your history for permission. It is waiting for something much simpler and much deeper. Your attention, your agreement, your presence in this moment. You may feel it physically, a pressure in your chest, a warmth in your hands, a stillness that suddenly quiets the noise in your mind. Do not dismiss that. I used to explain those sensations away as stress or imagination until I realized they always appeared right before a breakthrough, right before something shifted that I couldn't yet see but would soon live inside. Anointed one, your story has been quieter than most. You've carried weight without witnesses. You've been measured by people who never bothered to learn your depth. I know what that feels like to be overlooked, underestimated, and internally prepared for more while externally appearing unchanged. But destiny does not require applause. It requires alignment, and alignment is happening now. This moment is not asking you to strive. It is asking you to stay. There is a difference. Striving exhausts. Staying anchors. When you stay present, when you don't rush past the unfamiliar, you allow what's moving toward you to settle instead of scatter. I've watched opportunities dissolve simply because I wasn't ready to remain still long enough to receive them. I don't want that for you. Chosen one. You did not arrive here by accident. There are moments when heaven pauses a system, not because it's broken, but because it's waiting for the right soul to show up fully. This is one of those moments. Something in the unseen slowed down so that you could be here, aware, receptive, and aligned. There is a spiritual signature attached to what is approaching your life. It carries timing, precision, and purpose. Once in a lifetime, moments don't announce themselves loudly. They test whether you recognize them quietly. Scripture speaks of doors no one can shut, and paths made straight at the right time, and those moments often feel exactly like this, uncertain, weighty, and sacred. You may wonder why it hasn't landed yet, why the confirmation hasn't appeared. I've asked those same questions before, and the answer more often than not was this: the blessing was ready before I was fully present. Heaven waits for wholeness, not perfection. So breathe, chosen one, not out of fear, but out of readiness. Let your spirit answer before your mind tries to analyze. What is moving toward you carries restoration, not pressure, elevation, not chaos. And it does not require you to become someone else, only to remain where you are, open and aware. Stay here. What comes next will explain why this moment feels heavier than usual and why your spirit has been pulled to remain instead of move on. Chosen one. If this moment feels heavier than others, it's because what's approaching your life carries weight, not pressure, weight. There is a difference. Pressure tries to crush you. Weight settles into you, changes how you stand, how you move, how you see yourself. What is coming is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to anchor you into a new level of stability, authority, and provision. Anointed one, understand this clearly. When something valuable is in motion, resistance always tries to intercept it mid-journey. That is why distractions feel louder right now. That is why doubt tries to whisper urgency, move on, scroll away, don't stay too long. I have lived through seasons where the greatest threat to my breakthrough wasn't opposition, but impatience. I didn't lose opportunities because they weren't meant for me. I almost lost them because I didn't stay present long enough for them to attach. What's hovering near you is waiting for confirmation, not from a system, not from an institution, but from your spirit. Heaven does not rush transfers that are meant to last. It tests alignment first. That's why stillness matters more than effort right now. You are not being asked to chase, you are being asked to remain. Chosen one. There is a reason your life has felt quiet for longer than you expected. Silence is not absence. Silence is preparation. I remember a stretch of my life where nothing visible was happening, no applause, no movement, no proof that my prayers were working. But behind the scenes, foundations were being reinforced. Looking back, I realize if answers had come earlier, they would have collapsed under who I was at the time. That quiet season shaped you the same way. It refined your discernment. It taught you how to carry weight without needing validation. And now when something substantial approaches, you are not reaching for it out of desperation. You are ready to hold it with steadiness. Anointed one. The source of this breakthrough may surprise you. It may not come from the people who knew your struggle best. Often God uses unfamiliar hands to deliver familiar prayers. Not because others didn't care, but because destiny sometimes requires clean channels untouched by your past expectations, disappointments, or emotional debts. There was a moment in my own journey when help came from someone who knew almost nothing about my history. I questioned it at first. I wondered why they would be the one. But later, I understood their distance from my pain allowed them to act without hesitation. No bias, no delay, just obedience to a nudge they didn't fully understand. That is how divine provision often works, or chosen one. What is approaching your life carries restoration, not just financial relief, but internal relief. The kind that changes how you breathe, the kind that loosens the grip of survival thinking and replaces it with stability. This is not about excess for show. This is about enough to finally stand on solid ground without fear of the next collapse. You may feel your body responding before your mind catches up. A warmth, a gentle pressure, a sudden clarity that quiets internal noise. Those are signs of alignment. When heaven moves close, the body often knows before the intellect does. I've learned to trust that signal. It has never shown up without a reason. Anointed One. Your struggle had an expiration date even when it felt endless. Some delays were not denials. They were reroutes holding patterns protection. What was diverted is now being redirected. What was paused is now re-entering motion. Nothing you endured was wasted. It shaped your capacity to receive without losing yourself. Right now, the system carrying your breakthrough is not asking if you qualify. It is asking whether you are present enough to receive. Presence is the final gate. Attention is the key. That is why this moment feels narrow, not restrictive, precise. So stay, chosen one. Not out of fear of missing out, but out of reverence for what is unfolding. Let your spirit stay engaged, even if your mind doesn't have all the answers yet. The next part will take you deeper into why this moment required your full awareness and what happens when alignment locks in completely. Chosen One. There comes a point when movement in the unseen becomes so strong that even your body starts responding before your circumstances do. That's where you are now. This is the stage where alignment begins to lock, where what has been circling your life starts narrowing its focus. Not wandering anymore, not searching, choosing. Anointed One. You may notice that your awareness feels sharper right now. Thoughts slow down. Your heart beats a little differently. There's a quiet alertness, not anxiety, not fear, clarity. I've felt this before, right before a major shift. It's the moment when you realize you're no longer waiting for something to happen. Something is already happening, and you are inside it. What's important to understand is this divine timing does not rush, but it does accelerate. Once alignment is confirmed, movement becomes decisive. That's why things can feel like they're speeding up internally, while externally nothing has changed yet. The internal shift always comes first. Scripture hints at this when it speaks of seasons and appointed times. There is always a preparation phase before manifestation. Chosen One. The reason this message keeps calling you to remain is because presence is power in moments like this. I've learned the hard way that distraction can weaken alignment. Not because heaven withdraws, but because attention is how we receive. When attention splinters, connection thins. When attention stays steady, connection completes. There was a time in my life when everything I had prayed for was within reach, but my focus was scattered. I was emotionally tired, mentally drifting, half present in my own life. The breakthrough didn't disappear, but it delayed. Not as punishment, as mercy. I needed to be whole enough to hold it. You, chosen one, are being given the chance to hold what's coming fully, not just briefly. That's why this moment feels intentional, sacred, almost ceremonial. Heaven does not casually release things that are meant to change direction, legacy, and stability. Anointed One. The source that initiated this blessing may never fully understand what they set into motion. And that's okay. God often uses people as carriers, not authors. They don't need to know your nights of doubt, your private tears, or the weight you've carried quietly. Heaven already knows, and heaven chose now. This is why your name feels highlighted in this moment. Not elevated for attention, but marked for delivery. What's moving toward you is being prioritized, not because you are better than others, but because you are ready now. Readiness is not about perfection. It's about alignment. You may feel a subtle urgency, not panic, but importance, like something meaningful is unfolding and you don't want to step away from it. Trust that instinct. That pull is not manipulation, it's resonance. When something meant for you comes close, your spirit recognizes its frequency. Chosen one. Understand this, the blessing approaching you is not here to test you. It's here to steady you, to lift pressure off places you've been compensating for too long, to change how you make decisions, not from survival, but from stability. That shift alone will alter your future more than you realize. This is why your past no longer has authority here. Old mistakes, missed chances, wrong turns, they do not vote in this phase. Only presence does. Only alignment does. That's why even your setbacks feel quieter now. Their voice is fading because their role is finished. Anointed one. Right now, the system carrying your breakthrough is checking one thing: are you fully here, not physically, spiritually? Are you open without gripping, expectant without forcing, willing to receive without shrinking? Take a breath. Not to calm yourself, but to anchor yourself. Let your awareness settle. Let your spirit stay engaged. This is not the time to analyze every possibility. This is the time to remain receptive. Because once alignment locks, movement becomes irreversible. Chosen one. There are sacred moments that do not announce themselves with noise, but with a deep and settling stillness. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything is aligning. When your breathing slows and your thoughts soften without effort, that is not fatigue. That is readiness. Heaven often lowers its voice when it draws near, because what is holy does not need to shout. Anointed one, you may notice that the urgency you once felt has transformed into clarity. Not the clarity of having every answer, but the clarity of knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. I have learned that confusion fades not when problems disappear, but when alignment takes its seat. When alignment arrives, questions lose their grip even before solutions appear. Chosen one. There was a time when I mistook stillness for delay. I thought silence meant nothing was moving. But later, I understood that silence was evidence of precision. Some things require quiet in order to land properly. What is approaching you now carries weight, and weight needs stability, not chaos. Anointed one. This is why your spirit feels both calm and alert at the same time. Calm because fear no longer has authority here. Alert because something meaningful is close enough to be felt. This combination only appears when a chapter is closing and another is already forming beneath your feet. You are not suspended. You are transitioning. Chosen one. The delays you once questioned were not punishments. They were preparations. If certain things had arrived earlier, they would have demanded strength you had not yet built. They would have stretched you instead of establishing you. But now your inner foundation is different. You no longer grasp for outcomes. You are steady enough to receive them. Anointed one. What is coming is not fragile. It does not need you to shrink or brace yourself. It was designed to integrate into your life, not disrupt your identity. That is why you do not feel panic. You feel readiness. Panic belongs to uncertainty. Readiness belongs to alignment. Chosen one. Notice how the voices of your past feel quieter now. Old doubts do not argue the way they used to. Old fears struggle to finish their sentences. This is not because you became stronger by force, but because authority shifted naturally. When alignment takes its place, old narratives lose their permission to speak. Anointed one, this moment is precise, not rushed, not delayed, exact. Heaven does not guess with timing. It waits until your awareness capacity and willingness converge. When that convergence happens, movement becomes decisive, not chaotic, not explosive. Certain. Chosen one. You are not about to be overwhelmed. You are about to be established. Overwhelm scatters energy. Establishment grounds it. What is coming will simplify decisions that once felt heavy. It will remove mental calculations you have been carrying quietly day after day without realizing how much they weighed. Anointed one. I remember the first time stability entered my life after prolonged uncertainty. It did not arrive with fireworks or loud celebration. It arrived as relief, as sleep, as the ability to plan without fear of collapse. That kind of shift changes everything not by spectacle, but by foundation. Chosen one. Your body recognizes this moment even if your mind is still catching up. That subtle warmth, that gentle pressure, that sense of something meaningful approaching without urgency. These are not imagination. They are signals of alignment. When heaven moves close, the body often knows first. Anointed one. You are not required to convince yourself of anything right now. You are not asked to force belief. The fact that you are still here, still attentive, still present, is already confirmation. Alignment does not demand effort. It invites agreement. Chosen one remaining present is not passive. It is powerful. Presence is the posture that allows things to settle instead of scatter. I have watched opportunities dissolve, not because they were withdrawn, but because I was not fully present when they arrived. That is not happening now. Anointed one. What is approaching your life carries restoration. Not just provision, but relief. Not just resources, but stability. It will change how you make decisions, how you rest, how you envision the future. Survival thinking will loosen its grip. Grounded clarity will take its place. Chosen. 1. Your past no longer has a vote in this moment. Old mistakes do not qualify or disqualify what is coming. Missed chances do not rewrite this timing. Only alignment matters now, and alignment is already here. Anointed one, breathe without bracing. Stay aware without straining. Let your spirit remain open without grasping. This calm alertness is where receiving happens naturally. Nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be rushed. Chosen one. Everything required to bring you here has already occurred. Every detour shaped you. Every delay refined you. Every quiet season strengthened your capacity. What has been moving toward you is no longer circling, it is arriving. Chosen one. There is a moment when waiting quietly transforms into receiving steadily. It does not feel dramatic, it feels resolved. That is the moment you are stepping into now. What once felt like anticipation begins to feel like certainty, not because you see the outcome yet, but because something inside you has already agreed with it. Heaven does not always announce arrival with noise. Sometimes it announces it with peace. Anointed one. The shift you are experiencing is not only external, it is internal, and that is why it lasts. External changes without internal grounding create cycles. Internal grounding creates permanence. What is unfolding around you has been waiting for this internal readiness, not for your perfection, not for your credentials, but for your steadiness. I remember a season when I thought I needed more faith, more effort, more intensity. But what I actually needed was rest in alignment. When I finally stopped gripping outcomes and allowed myself to trust timing, things began to settle into place naturally, not faster, cleaner. That is the quality of movement you are entering now. Chosen one. What is approaching you does not come to rescue you from chaos. It comes to remove the need for chaos entirely. This is not about sudden excitement that fades. This is about stability that stays. The kind that allows you to make decisions without fear. The kind that lets you breathe without calculating worst-case scenarios in the background of your mind. Anointed One. You may notice that your thoughts about the future are changing. Not because everything is clear, but because everything no longer feels threatening. The edge has softened. The urgency has matured into assurance. This is what happens when provision aligns with purpose instead of pressure. There is a reason you had to walk through uncertainty before this moment. Certainty without discernment creates entitlement. Uncertainty with faith creates humility. Humility creates capacity. Capacity is what allows blessing to integrate instead of overwhelm. You did not go through delay to be tested. You went through it to be strengthened in ways you could not see at the time. Chosen One. The relief that is coming is not just financial, it is mental, emotional. The constant background noise of what if is about to quiet. Not because problems disappear, but because solutions are now within reach. That changes how your nervous system responds to life. That changes how you show up in relationships. That changes how you plan. Anointed One. What is settling into your life will not isolate you, it will stabilize you. Isolation comes from survival mode. Stability creates connection. You will notice that you are no longer guarding yourself the same way. You will feel safer being seen, not because nothing can go wrong, but because you trust yourself to handle what comes. I want to speak to something gently here. There were times you blamed yourself for not moving faster, not achieving sooner, not arriving earlier. Release that. Timing did not delay you. Timing protected you. You were becoming someone who could hold what is now arriving without losing your peace, your integrity, or your identity. Chosen One. This is also why the source of provision may not look how you imagined. When heaven moves, it prioritizes effectiveness over familiarity. It chooses channels that can deliver cleanly. That is not rejection of the past. It is precision for the future. Anointed One. What is coming will ask you to trust ease where you once expected struggle. That may feel unfamiliar at first. You may catch yourself bracing even when there is nothing to brace for. Be patient with yourself. Learning to live from stability takes time when you have lived from endurance for so long. Chosen One. The blessing approaching your life carries responsibility, but not burden. Responsibility that aligns with who you have become, not who you were. You will not need to pretend. You will not need to perform. You will simply step into what fits. This is why your spirit feels settled. Not excited in a restless way, but grounded in a confident way. Excitement fades. Grounded confidence remains. Heaven prefers the second. Anointed One. You are not standing at the edge of something fragile. You are standing on something established. The ground beneath you has been reinforced quietly over time. You did not notice every layer being added, but now you can feel the solidity. Let yourself trust this moment, not blindly, but calmly. Let yourself receive without rehearsing loss. Let yourself plan without fear of collapse. This is not naivete. This is alignment expressing itself as peace. Chosen One. The season of bracing is ending. The season of building from stability is beginning. What has been moving toward you is no longer approaching cautiously. It is settling into place. Chosen One. There is a distinct moment when something that has been approaching your life quietly decides to stay. It no longer circles. It no longer tests distance. It settles. You can feel the difference when that happens. The atmosphere around you feels steadier. Your thoughts stop racing ahead. Your body exhales without you telling it to. This is not imagination. This is arrival without noise. Anointed One. What is anchoring itself into your life now does not come to impress you. It comes to support you. There is a profound difference between provision that excites and provision that sustains. Excitement rises and falls. Sustenance holds you through seasons. Heaven favors what lasts, not what dazzles briefly. I remember a time when I thought breakthroughs would feel explosive, dramatic, unmistakable. But the ones that changed my life the most arrived gently. They arrived in ways that made things simpler, quieter, more manageable. They didn't shout, "Look what happened," they whispered. "You're safe now." That whisper is forming around you. Chosen. 1. This is why your spirit feels settled instead of frantic. What is landing does not demand urgency. Urgency belongs to instability. Stability allows patience. When stability enters your decisions, change. You stop rushing. You stop forcing timelines. You stop measuring yourself against other people's progress. You begin to move with intention instead of reaction. Anointed One. The blessing settling into your life carries a kind of authority that doesn't need permission from your past. Old limitations are not consulted. Old fears are not invited to the table. They simply fade into irrelevance because the environment has changed. When the ground changes, what once struggled to grow suddenly thrives without effort. You may notice that your conversations are shifting. Your inner dialogue softens. You are no longer negotiating with fear before every decision. That's because the internal pressure that once fueled survival mode is loosening its grip. You are no longer living as if everything depends on constant vigilance. You are learning to trust support instead of endurance. Chosen One. Allow yourself to notice how different this feels. Not thrilling in a chaotic way, but reassuring. This is what happens when provision aligns with purpose. It doesn't pull you out of who you are, it reinforces who you've become. That is why it fits instead of overwhelms. Anointed One. What is anchoring now also carries clarity, not all answers at once, but direction. The kind of direction that doesn't shout commands, but quietly adjusts your path. You will find yourself making choices that feel obvious instead of stressful. That is not coincidence. That is guidance operating without friction. There was a season when I second-guessed every opportunity. I analyzed every opening, afraid of choosing wrong. But when alignment entered my life, discernment became simpler. Not because I became smarter, but because the noise reduced. When the noise reduces, wisdom becomes easier to hear. Chosen One. The stability entering your life is not meant to isolate you from challenge. Life will still have movement, but challenge will no longer define you. You will meet it from a grounded place, not a depleted one. That changes outcomes more than effort ever could. Anointed One. This moment also invites you to release guilt around receiving. Some of you learned to associate worth with struggle. You felt uncomfortable when things came easily, as if ease needed justification. Let that go. Ease is not weakness. Ease is evidence of alignment. You are not being rewarded for suffering. You are stepping into provision because preparation is complete. Heaven does not glorify exhaustion. It honors readiness. And readiness looks like steadiness, not strain. Chosen One. What is settling now will influence how you relate to time. You will stop feeling like you are always behind. You will stop measuring days by what didn't get done. You will begin to experience time as something that supports you instead of chases you. That alone restores peace. Anointed One, notice how your body responds when you imagine the future now. There is less tension, less bracing, more openness. That is because your nervous system senses support. When the body feels supported, the spirit can expand. You are not losing your edge. You are losing unnecessary armor. Armor was needed when stability was absent. It is heavy. It restricts movement. Now you are learning how to stand without it. Chosen One. This anchoring phase is quiet because it is foundational. Foundations are laid beneath the surface. They are not admired, but everything rests on them. What is being established now will carry you through seasons you have not yet seen. There is nothing more you need to do in this moment except remain open and grounded, not alert for danger, alert for integration. Let what has arrived take its place naturally. Anointed One, you are not stepping into something temporary. You are stepping into something that stays. And as it settles, you will realize that the long wait did not delay your life. It prepared it. Chosen One. There is a quiet confidence that begins to rise when you realize you no longer need to prove anything to the moment you're in. That confidence is not pride, it's recognition. Recognition that what has entered your life is not passing through it, belongs here. You are no longer waiting to see if it stays. You are learning how to live with it, present. Anointed One. This is the phase where integration begins. Not celebration yet, not announcement. Integration. When something real arrives, it asks to be woven into your daily rhythm, into how you wake up, how you plan, how you respond instead of react. This is where lasting change takes root quietly and deeply. I remember when stability first entered my life after years of unpredictability. It felt unfamiliar at first. I kept checking for cracks, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But over time I realized the vigilance itself was the residue of old seasons. Stability didn't need to be defended, it needed to be trusted. That learning curve is part of what you are stepping into now. Chosen One. What is settling into your life is teaching you a new relationship with trust. Trust not just in God, but in yourself, in your ability to handle what comes next, in your capacity to steward without fear, in your discernment to recognize what aligns and what no longer does. Anointed One, you may notice that certain invitations no longer appeal to you. Certain conversations feel flat. Certain pursuits lose their urgency. This is not loss, this is refinement. When alignment deepens, appetite changes. You stop craving what once distracted you. You begin to value what supports your peace. There was a time when I thought saying yes to everything was faith. I thought momentum meant constant motion. But true momentum is directional, not frantic. Now, when something aligns, it feels clean. When it doesn't, it feels heavy. That clarity is forming in you. Chosen One. This is also when boundaries strengthen without becoming rigid. You are no longer guarding yourself from lack. You are protecting stability. That is a different posture entirely. Protection from lack is defensive. Protection of stability is intentional. It comes from knowing what you carry now matters. Anointed One. The internal shift you are experiencing will begin to show externally in subtle ways. Your voice steadies. Your decisions shorten. You stop over-explaining. You stop negotiating with fear. Not because challenges vanish, but because fear is no longer the loudest voice in the room. I want to say this gently, you are allowed to enjoy this steadiness. Some of you learned to associate peace with danger, as if calm meant something was about to go wrong. That belief was shaped by instability, not truth. Peace is not a warning. Peace is a signal that things are in their proper place. Chosen one, you will also begin to notice how generosity shifts in you. Not forced generosity, not sacrificial generosity, but overflow generosity. When you are no longer calculating, survival sharing becomes natural. Not just resources, but wisdom, presence, patience. That is a sign of abundance taking root internally. Anointed one, this season will ask you to release urgency even when opportunity appears. Urgency used to feel necessary. Now it feels misaligned. You will sense when something requires action and when it requires waiting. That discernment protects what you've received. There may be moments when your mind tries to revisit old fears. That's normal. Old patterns don't disappear overnight. When they surface, don't fight them. Just notice that they no longer control your choices. That alone is progress. Chosen one. This anchoring phase is not about becoming someone new. It's about finally living as who you already became through the journey. Everything you endured shaped your capacity to hold what is now present without losing yourself. Anointed one, let yourself adjust to this new normal without rushing to define it. You don't need to label the blessing yet. You don't need to announce it. Let it integrate. Let it settle. Let it become part of how you live instead of something you manage. This is the season where faith becomes quiet confidence instead of constant hoping, where prayer becomes conversation instead of pleading, where trust becomes embodied, not just spoken. Chosen one. What you carry now will influence how you walk into the future. Not hurried, not hesitant, grounded, aware, ready without being tense. You are no longer bracing for loss. You are learning how to live from stability, and that changes everything. Chosen one. This is the moment when everything that has settled within you begins to move outward with calm authority. Not as a rush, not as spectacle, but as a natural expression of alignment. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are responding to timing that has matured quietly and deliberately. Anointed one. There is a confidence forming now that does not need validation. The waiting seasons taught you discernment. The silent seasons refined your awareness. Because of that, movement no longer feels risky. It feels appropriate. That is how you know readiness has replaced anticipation. I remember realizing one day that I had stopped asking whether something was allowed and started asking whether it was aligned. That shift changed how I moved. Fear-based hesitation lost its voice and intentional clarity took its place. You are stepping into that same clarity now. Chosen one. What has entered your life is not asking you to abandon humility. It is asking you to release hesitation. Humility knows its place. Hesitation doubts it. You have already paid the cost of preparation through patience, restraint, and unseen endurance. Anointed one decisions will begin to feel cleaner. Less internal debate. Less emotional bargaining. When alignment settles deeply, choices rise naturally. You will notice you no longer chase confirmation. You recognize it when it appears because your spirit has learned its language. Pressure will no longer drive you. It will inform you. Anxiety no longer sets your pace. Awareness does. This is maturity. This is authority forming without noise. Chosen one. Your steadiness will begin to influence others quietly, not through explanation, but through presence. People sense when someone is no longer fighting their own ground. Influence grows naturally when it is rooted in authenticity rather than urgency. Anointed One, allow this season to be lived before it is announced. Some things must settle before they are shared. Let consistency speak before visibility. What is real does not rush itself into display. You may notice moments where you miss the intensity of earlier seasons. Intensity can feel like purpose when it has been familiar. But peace is not emptiness. Peace is fullness without noise. Learning to live from peace is a new skill, and you are allowed time to grow into it. Chosen One. Your relationship with effort is changing. You are learning when effort is required and when trust is enough. This discernment protects your energy and ensures that what you build now is sustainable. Anointed One. What has anchored into your life will not isolate you. It will stabilize you. You can give without depletion, listen without absorbing, and engage without losing yourself. That is the gift of stability. Your trust in God is also maturing. Not the desperate trust of survival, but the settled trust of partnership. Prayer becomes alignment, not pleading. Awareness replaces urgency. You are aligned, supported, and moving forward. Chosen One, remain still and receive this final sealing. What has been set in motion cannot be reversed. The shift you sensed, the stillness you felt, the quiet certainty rising within you, this is alignment. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the exact point where divine timing meets your readiness. Anointed One. Heaven has already confirmed what your spirit recognized before your mind could explain it. The pathway is open. Resistance has lost its authority. What was released with your name attached is advancing now with precision and purpose. This is not a hope waiting to happen. This is a movement already underway. Breathe deeply and let gratitude settle in your chest. Gratitude anchors what faith receives. You remained when it would have been easier to drift. You stayed aligned through quiet seasons and unseen battles. That faithfulness has spoken loudly in the unseen, and it has not been ignored. Chosen One. What approaches your life carries restoration, stability, and elevation. It is not coming to overwhelm you, but to establish you. Walk forward without fear. Guard your peace. Stay sensitive to the flow of the anointing. What is manifesting will unfold step by step, each moment, confirming what has been spoken here. If your spirit is moved, you may leave a word of agreement or quietly share this moment with another who needs confirmation. Stay connected if you feel led not by habit but by resonance. Go now in alignment. Go in gratitude. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are chosen.